Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. The direct purchase and pricing email question line for your questions about buying this or any watch you see here on Watchbox Reviews. tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Today, we are discussing a Z series Rolex Oyster Perpetual GMT-Master II 116758SA, 40mm in yellow gold and extraordinarily paved with diamonds, and featuring sapphires inset on its GMT bezel. This is one of the few handmade Rolex watches you will encounter in the modern era. Let's take a look at it. Yellow gold with the modern super case profile. The watch is reasonably slender, measuring only 11.8mm thick, so it'll easily slide underneath the cuff. From lug to lug, 48mm, and if you include the solid end links, the full distance across the wrist is 51mm. So you're going to find that this watch wears well on a wrist as small as 14cm circumference. The spacing between the lugs is 20mm, and now I'm going to throw it on my 16cm circumference wrist so you have a good sense of how it wears. Comfortably, but substantial, because of the solid end links, solid center links, and milled clasp, as well as the fact that Rolex still uses solid case backs even on its precious metal watches. You do get a lot of yellow gold here, and you really feel that heft. Again, you be the judge relative to my wrist size and shape, but I would say 14cm is the lower limit for wearing this watch comfortably and with a decent proportion. The bracelet's nicely made and handsome. As you can see, it's standard yellow gold GMT, which is to say polished centers, polished outer faces, sizable links, that is removable links, fixed in place by screw, and then there are gaps on the underside, calculated gaps to avoid trapping wrist heat or pinching skin or pulling hair, all of which is to say a very comfortable Oyster bracelet. Internally, the clasp features a beacon hook system, so it locks once. You can see it latch there, and then you can see it latch a second time. Straight through polished, there's a little curve for digging in your nail to open up the clamshell locking system. And then internally, we'll get a bit closer here to show detail, there is the Easy Link system, the 5mm system that's the equivalent of adding or removing one sizable link. And then there are 3 divots drilled inside the clasp that allow you to change the stationing of the bracelet in the clasp. And so there are 3 degrees of adjustability: Easy Link, the divots inside the clasp, and the removable links in the bracelet. Rolling back to the case, this is the super case, which actually debuted on the 6-digit GMT back in 2005. So a sheer side and a relatively squared off lug profile. Here, those broader lugs serve as a staging point for Rolex's finest gems. As you can see, brilliant cut diamonds. They have been graded out electronically for identical color, character, and clarity, as well as gradient carats. As you can see, they grow from the bottom up to the top, where larger crown-style diamonds cap the progression. So likewise, on the bezel, color and clarity, as well as carats, used for gauging the baguettes that are set, and it is an invisible setting system where you can see the brilliant cut features visible gold pincers. There is an outer track and an inner track, but no intermediate pincers for the gems on the bezel. So you have sapphires, real sapphires for once on a luxury watch, and then you have the diamonds. You also have the diamond-paved lug profile, and you can see there is a full wrap from the top to bottom of the lugs. Triplock crown, 100 meters water resistant. You'll note that the dial features the green GMT text down at 6 o'clock. It's still a functional dual-time watch, and you can still approximate the different GMT offsets using the strategically placed sapphires and diamonds. Note the oversized triangular diamond index at the top. Absolutely glorious stuff. And I mentioned earlier that this is a handmade Rolex watch. The gem setting at Rolex is still done manually. The dial is a black lacquer with yellow gold hands and yellow gold indices, and then you have the Cyclops eye over the black on white printed date disc. Now you have the ability to set that local hour hand independently. Note the watch is still ticking, and you can use this to drive the date forward or backwards as you cross the international date line. Of course, when you pull the crown out and you set everything in sync, you can move that 24-hour hand. So you have 2 time zones, one of which is in 12-hour format that drives the date. The other is a 24-hour format. That's your reference time, the time where you are not. Inside the case, you have Rolex caliber 3186, protected down to 100 meters, 31 joules, bi-directional automatic winding, 48-hour power reserve, stop seconds, dual time, 28,800 vibration per hour beat rate, also known as 8 beats per second or 4 hertz. It has a full balance bridge and a free sprung index for shock resistance, and it features an overcoil hairspring adjusted in 5 positions, and a COSC chronometer certification that results. The Breguet overcoil hairspring in these watches, by the way, made by hand by Rolex in Geneva. So there are handcrafted elements even inside this Rolex. It's the gem setting that really sets this one apart. Of course, a COSC certified chronometer, and as I mentioned earlier, 100 meters water resistant. So while you don't think of the GMT Pilot's watch as an aquatic timepiece, it is set up well for recreational swimming. An impressive timepiece inside and out, and of course one of the big three of Rolex sports watch heritage, along with the Daytona and the Submariner. You can see and purchase this 116758 SA with diamonds and sapphires on thewatchbox.com. Email tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing questions. And we're back with the gem set Rolex GMT by night.